A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan. There's always more squirts to go around. carves through all of them in a flash. Well, the kid's gone and struck terror in the hearts of squirts everywhere. Strongest, fastest folks earn more than their fair share. The kids worked the yard before, but that time it just plain destroyed it. You have to think fast to survive the wilds, and none thought faster than the slingers. They could shoot their pistols with the speed of a machine. They knew just when to start shooting, and when to stop. Those pistols could spit out rounds just as quick as you could pull the trigger. Learning to hold your fire can be its own challenge. Slingers were much quicker than the average pistolier. The slingers could plug you full of holes faster than you could say draw. The slingers like to edge each other out using customized pistols. Eventually, it all comes down to reflexes. Well, even the slingers weren't quick enough to escape the calamity. Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm. Court is back in session for the kid. Old ritual from when folks believed there was this godlike bull watching over them. Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothes Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts who don't know up from down, still lurking about. Only the city's brushers knew their way around the lagoon. These beasts, they don't like company. That's ankle gator country for you. Even the brushers learn to fear this place. They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne. The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Know what smells worse than an ankle gator's breath? The stinkweed. Ain't time for pecker hunting, but the kid can't resist. Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. They say you can't hurt an ankle gator unless it's raining. And it ain't raining. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. Bad idea to walk in gator grass. Sharp sticks make Queen Anne nervous, so she backs off a bit. Kid's got a mean throwing arm. Most of those peckers are smart enough to stay out of Queen Anne's way. Those pin cushions been living off the ankle gator scraps. Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass, and it's Queen Anne's lunch. He holds his ground. Seems the Queen's running out of options. closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. That old gator's right on his tail. Must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. She's starting to get annoyed. The shard's sitting in plain view. For the brushers. Kid's done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel. That gator's a crazy gal, but so's the gal who promised to look after her. All that trouble for a single shard, but you know what? It was worth it. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. blast of the musket, you gotta get rid of the recoil. Now, whale ale ain't made from real whale, but it'll make you strong like one. They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't. The breakers. Ain't no one could outrun them. Or their arrows. The Gravers, the arm of justice. They seemed unstoppable. The next charge should be farther out there in the wilds. It wasn't fixed, it was unbroken. Hensa. Javel. The gods never liked competing for people's affections. To prepare for the wilds, Ceylonia's brushers practice at Camp Dauncey. Had to navigate a maze of pincushions with nothing but a pike. It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job. Health tonics were off limits at Camp Dauncey. They said they made you weak. Said he couldn't use any fancy footwork, just your brains and your pike. Sometimes the course was brutal. Just getting through the course in one piece was an accomplishment. The Brushers were Caelondia's field agents, and their training was harsh. You had to find a path through the maze as quick as you could. One well-placed throw could take out several of those ugly critters. You can see why the Brushers prize those pikes of theirs. To fix a Brusher's pike, you just need a good length of knife bark. Don't want that thing leaving your hands until you decide it's time. Know how Celandia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. All grown over with things the Calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Kid don't let so much as one of those things slip by. Kid don't want to miss this train. Lunkheads settled in like they own the place. Celandia lost many good men on the rail. Takes fancy footwork on the rail, but with wallflowers, cough, and fungus everywhere. Wiggle room up there near the rail. Place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple. Of course, the Grand Rails see much more fighting in bygone times. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Celandian War. It was right here that Zolf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into Swampweed Central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While choking on swampweed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. It's the end of the line. He'll be picking swampweed out of those boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not just another wallflower or pincushion like it. At first, he thinks it's Zolf. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. but something else is there. The only words Kid recognizes on that parchment are for Zia. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf. It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. Been meaning to put up some guardrails. Zulf's messenger was one of his people. Wondered just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zulf told him. The shards are getting harder to find. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt. So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from the Colford Cauldron. That learning led to some interesting inventions. The raw power of the world fell right into our hands. Playing with the cauldron's fires became an addiction.
敵弱い。
Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here. But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The unforgiving scent of sulfurous dirt. Taste the air so hot it sticks to your lungs.
.それもあるけど。マウスでやってるから。弓とショットガンで全てどうにでもなる、わら。
All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. You can cook those things, but you can't eat them. Never thought we'd find so much life and all that ash. The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found. Place as inhospitable as they come. Still, we pressed on. After all, when we look down inside Colford Cauldron, look down through all the smoke and flames, we saw in there the heart of the world. The heart now laid bare by the calamity. We kept on sifting through the cauldron's secrets anyway. We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Jawson Bog. Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Sure, it ain't the most convenient path. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. Well, it ain't polite to stare. Where there's one stink eye, there's always more. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed any tears for him, though. Best to keep out of the cauldron. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city, but all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it. He comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances. little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight. Gotta watch your fingers around that little guy. They said the wild could never be tamed. If only they could see us now. At least it won't get cold around here with that thing around. On the inside, a fire bellows ain't nothing like its more popular air-spitting cousin. Bow and bellows make a strange and fearsome team. We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan. Welcome to Grady Incinerator, home of the hottest wings east of Celandia. In all seriousness, the incinerator was a dump, and it had a problem with peckers. Blasted things would swoop in and spread trash all around until we started using fire. We couldn't just torch them all at once. We had to use restraint. Know how we kept the city clean? We put all our trash in Grady Incinerator. Peckers that flock together were easy pickings. Keeping the incinerator clean was a paying job, but not a pleasant one.
2段階強化したんです。 ないなぁ。低燃費化はつけてるから。持続時間は伸びてる。この武器は首
You'd
だ。
almost think those peckers like getting cooked. Can't rightly call Mount Zan a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go.
火炎放射器限定ちゃうの？
So they figure they'll hold out right here.
あれは武器のチャレンジだね。やんなくてもいい？手に武器の強化素材が手に入るから。
A slab of
おそ
mountain
ら
the
く最大
calamity
値まで強
forgot.
化するにはクリアしないとダメ。 なるほど。
thing for those beasts, the Calamity saved leftovers. We only found that little lair because they found themselves a little shard. Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. It's a delicate situation. They even dragged their children into this. Without a doubt, the situation stinks. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. the city left behind, those beasts took for themselves. Look at it this way, it's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our Bastion is everybody's gain, not just ours. There's only one kind of mercy left these days. Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square. You don't need to keep tangling with all those things. That's the way. He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. The monument's getting better. Zol sure did a number on it, though. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. Black rye is like hot pineapple chowder on a cold day. Brings back memories. Suppose it's true a little song can put things in perspective. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head. I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this. What's he thinking? Let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once. Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tazzle terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Ceylondia. Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. Mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father. Her father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him. Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the Mancers. It's for your own good, he said. She took to studying the arts, Learn more through music than history books. Gain a knack for strings and songs. At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city. One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him. To take him to a family den to meet a
世界が少しずつ崩壊してるって意味じゃないかな。住民がみんな石化しちゃってて、生き延びた人を探して拠点に連れ帰ってるのが主人公だよ。
When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out. The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult. It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals. They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag, then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal. But the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls. The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tazzle terminals.
I dig my hole, you build a wall. I dig my hole, you build a wall.
She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Returned to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free.
Don't build that city on a hill. Don't build that city on a hill.
Before they parted ways for the last time, her father whispered a desperate plea. Hurry home to the den and lock yourself in.
So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there for too long. Come build that wall up to the sky. Build that wall up to the sky. Someday your bird is gonna fly. Don't build that wall until it's done.
She did as she was told, and deep down underground inside that den, she found a journal written in her father's hand.
But now you got nowhere to run. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there.
The next day, the door to the den turned to ash. The girl came up for air, and she saw the calamity all around her. When a kid wakes up, his world's still in pieces, just the way you left it.
Shotgun gate.
Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right? Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Zealandia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes a burstone quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the calamity. We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Same goes towards natives, rattletails. Why would the Ura put up with those pests? Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit. The quarry ain't exactly up to safety standards no more. The quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in those rocks. There was even more to it than that. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things. They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry. The rocks were calling them. Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Rattletails kept tunneling in, snacking on windbags. Without those windbags, the quarry might not have its special qualities. Even stink eyes started taking root here. Windbags tended to the rocks, so we had to keep the rattletails at bay. Rattletails filled the place with holes. Now, why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Might be the gods told of the quarry's bad news. On top of that, you know the Ura hated anything above ground. shine for their liking. In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was a godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. A single core could keep the lights on in an entire city district. The smaller ones, we call them shards. A shard's got a fraction of a core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Well, now the quarry's all dried up. These rocks are much too young to be of use. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive things stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks in Bastion quarry is Sir Lunky's hand. We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. Are you all right? It says. It's him. I've come to warn you, he says. The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back. Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. If that's the way it is, he says, then I won't stop you. Because my countrymen will. Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word.
Let me go.
His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. Too bad for that. Zolf showed them the way here, and here they came to take revenge. They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kids gotta go in through the back. I should have told him sooner about all this. Unfortunately, they broke in, and they started digging their hole. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away at this place. We tried to stop them, but we needed help. No way out of this. Not without a fight. Our baby pecker, he don't make it. Our little squirt, he don't make it. Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zolf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back for the calamity. It was Caelondia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zolf knew the whole story. Arrows like that can practically find their own way. The culture, a still life of old unwanted keepsakes. The conscience. We haven't lost everything, long as we have that. The cinders kept the city good and warm, made it thrive. The mercy, the windbags ain't the only beast that drew a bad lot. Brandy is thicker than paint. Makes your skin feel as tough as knife bark. Now we're looking at some serious firepower. The city, its riches, nothing but fragments now. What were we to think? They must have got her, taken her back to her rightful home. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. The sanctuary. If we can build, we can rebuild. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand.